A GCSE Intermediate Homework 4, the Maths Non-Calculator part. So 2 fair dice are thrown. The 2 numbers obtained are multiplied together to get the total score. The table shows some of the possible total scores. So these numbers are multiplied. Even if we had read the question, we might have been able to get that by seeing what's happening in the table here. Complete the table to show all possible scores. Okay, so let's just finish this off. So 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 6 is 12. Then we've got the 3 times table here because everything's being multiplied by 3. So we end up with those. Then we have the 4 times table as everything's being multiplied by 4. Then the 5 times table. And then the 6 times table. 24, 30. Okay, all right. What's the probability of getting a score of 20 or more? So we just need to go through and circle anything that is 20 or more. So that includes 20 if it's 20 or more. So that's all of them. And if I count those up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 out of a possible 36 numbers here in total. We don't need to cancel it down, we can leave it as 8 over 36, but it must be a fraction. For part C, if the 2 dice are thrown 720 times, how many times would you expect to get a total score of 20 or more? And as this is non-calculated, I'd look at this and I'd try to use what I've been given here. So 8 over 36. Now they've given me a number which is quite close to 36. In fact, if I double that number, I will get 72. So if I double the top, what that helps me with is get an equivalent fraction. And out of 36, I'd be expecting to get 8. Out of 72, I'd be expected to get 16. I want 720, so I can just times those by 10 to get that fraction. Now, all those fractions are the exact same number. It's just that this one helps me a lot more because I can see from this one I'd be expected to get it 160 times. Okay, and that's the final part for that question. Okay, for the second side we have a tree diagram. So at breakfast the probability that Melanie has a bowl of cereal is 0.3 and the probability she has a slice of toast is 0.2. Melanie having a bowl of cereal and Melanie having a slice of toast are independent, so it means this doesn't have an effect on whether she has the cereal or not. So Melanie has a bowl of cereal as 0.3. These branches need to add up to 1. So this is the probability that Mel doesn't have cereal. The probability that she has a slice of toast is given in the question, 0.2. And it's 0.8 that Mel doesn't have toast. And then this branch is the same as above, so Mel has toast, and it's 0.8 that Mel doesn't have toast. Find the probability that she has cereal and toast, the bit down the bottom then. Well, that's going to be these branches here, so we just need to times those together. 0.3 times 0.2 is 0.06, and that's your final part for that one. Okay. We now go on to the numeracy section. So the diagram represents a rectangular lawn with dimensions of 8 by 5 meters. Calculate the perimeter of the garden giving the units of your answer. So that's really important. Now the perimeter is the outside, so it's going to be 8 plus 5 plus 8 plus 5. Remember to add them all in. So 8 plus 5 plus 8 plus 5 is going to be 26, and the units are really important, meters, because it's in the question. Calculate the area of the garden. The area of a rectangle, we just times them together, so it's 8 times 5, which is 40. Doesn't ask for units, but it's good practice to put them in. 40 meters squared. For the next bit then, a stadium announcer is given the information on attendance in both words and figures to make sure he reads them correctly. So we've got an example there that 66,570 was the attendance. That's it written in words, that's it written in figures. So fill in the blank. Today's attendance is 72,000. So 72,034. So there's no hundreds there. And 34 at the end. And the total attendance for our home matches for this season has been this number down here. If we look, these are our thousands. So that's 540,000. And then the last bit is 207. Last bit there. Okay, and the last question. So we've got as if using his calculator to find the value of that number there. He pressed the following buttons on his calculator in that order. The answer he got was 250. This answer is incorrect. Explain what he did wrong. Well, you might think that he needs to use the fraction button, because on a scientific calculator we used to have this fraction button, and the reason for that being that the numerator, the whole of the numerator needs to be divided by all of the denominator. So we actually need brackets in our answer, or in our question, sorry, around like this. Okay, you'd be used to using the fraction button. So explain what he's done wrong. As if has just typed the numbers in. He needs brackets around the numerator and brackets around the denominator, or pressing the fraction button. And of course you can only press the fraction button if he's got a scientific calculator, so that's why it's important we write about the brackets as well. Find the correct number of this. I'm going to press the fraction button. So I've got a scientific calculator, so 85 times 43, then over 17 plus 35. So my number is 70.28846, and then the number goes on. Let's check to see where it asks me to round it to. Write your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So we're going to count in 1, 2, 3. So I need to round it off there. I look at the 8. As it's 5 or more, I'm going to round this number up. So 70.3. And that's the final answer.